Hi, so today I'm at the park with my son. My name is Glenn, and I'd like to talk to you about hypocrisy and swear words. Now, when I say swear words, I mean the A word, the B word, the F word, the S word, and all those other words that people tend to call swear words, including the H word, which some people consider a swear word. I'm a little bit on the liberal side, so I'll say crap. But in deference to those of you who are overly sensitive to vocabulary that you consider to be swear words or curse words, I will refrain from actually using those words. I'll just refer to them by their first letter. So what I want to talk about is how these words are used, their function, and whether we really should consider them to be forbidden words or not. So let me give you the context here, okay? If I say you're a effing a-hole, then you would feel very offended, most likely, and unless you felt that you were that way, you probably would disagree with me, maybe punch me in the nose or something like that. But let's change it a little bit, okay? So if I say you're a jerk, which is essentially the same thing, but with milder language, you probably wouldn't punch me in the nose. You'd still disagree with me, but you wouldn't punch me in the nose. Or even if I said you're a farging butthole, you'd probably get pretty upset, more upset than if I called you a jerk, but you wouldn't necessarily resort to violence to solve the conflict. So let me give you another example. You're full of versus you're telling a lie, or you're full of baloney, okay? Or how about this? You are a one of the two B words, choose. It's gender specific, so choose. As opposed to saying you are an unpleasant female, or you are an unpleasant male, or something like that. Or let's see, what about F you instead of, or go to H, yeah? Now, those again are all strong expressions to use, but if you change F you or go to H with, I really think, I really am unhappy with you, or something like that, something that's phrased politely, or even just using a different word, or you just go away, or I hope you suffer, something like that. What's the real difference here, okay? In one respect, we're talking about politeness. But is it really polite to curse somebody or insult somebody? No matter how nice the words are, it's still hurtful, okay? Second of all, is there a difference in function, actual function or meaning, between the F word and farging or fricking or one of those other substitutes? If you say arse instead of the A word, or if you use some other substitute for the words that you find offensive or other people find offensive, is it really different? Now, if you look at the function, it isn't. There is no real difference, except that people make a decision to say that, okay, it's acceptable to say jerk, it's not acceptable to say a-hole or one of the B words. It's acceptable to say things in certain ways and not in others. So that means that people who are sensitive to these words can be triggered by these words, can be manipulated by these words, whereas people who are not sensitive to them are unlikely to be manipulated or triggered by them. Which leaves those of you who decide, oh my God, I have to react sensitively to these words, vulnerable. It leaves you open to being victimized, to being triggered by people who want to do something to you or make you do something to them so that they can get you in trouble. So ultimately, my point here is, if it's okay to say farging or fricking or some other substitute, then it's okay to use the F word. If it's okay to say poop or crap, then it's okay to say the S word. And why is it okay for a preacher or an imam or a rabbi to say hell, the H word, but it's not okay for us to say it at other times, even if it's not meant as an insult. Okay, there are places where you say the H word, no matter what the context is, it doesn't matter. You're in trouble. Now, so that's one of my points. And another of my points is that if you're using one of the B words, for example, the B words actually originate from legitimate terms, as does the A word. Okay, the B word for a female is in reference to a female dog. The B word for the other B word is actually for any child that's born out of wedlock. And of course, you probably don't feel too happy if you're born out of wedlock, especially in the old days. Not so much now, but to use that word, it implies whether it's true or not, it makes a person feel bad. But still, if you use it in the proper context, it does have a valid meaning, and that is a child born out of wedlock. So we can look at the A word, which is another word for a donkey. Okay, so when we talk about all these words and we're so, oh my God, you said that to me, it's so horrible. The truth of the matter is you choose to let it to be horrible. It doesn't have to be horrible. It doesn't have to be accepted that way. It doesn't have to be looked at as something that's so terribly offensive that you might actually stab or kill somebody over it. Okay? So I hope that you can give some thought to this and the hypocrisy with which we treat words, and also how vulnerable you leave yourself by being upset by words like this when you don't actually have to be. All right? So I would like you to please give it some thought and accept the possibility that somebody could call you an a-hole, and you don't have to be any more offended than if they called you a butthole or a butt or a jerk. Somebody can say the H word, and I don't mean heaven, I mean the other one that preachers are okay to say. Somebody can say that word, go to H, and it can be the same as go jump off a short pier into a lake or into a canyon or something like that. Try to reimagine the value of these words. Try to redefine them in your mind so that they don't have such great power over you. And if they don't have great power over you, then people cannot use them to take advantage of you, to manipulate you, to control you, to trigger you. Thank you for listening, and I hope that you have a wonderful day.